Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about Mustang Bibs for the Yamaha Bolt. So you should be looking into a bib for your motorcycle if you want a little bit of form or a little bit of function. We'll get to that in just a moment. These things are currently being made by Mustang for all late model bolts. Installation on these is fairly simple. If you can pop your seat off or possibly move your tank a little bit, you should be able to install these in your bike absolutely no problem. Let's get right into things. So I mentioned before form and function. You're looking at both style and substance here. Let's start with the substance end of things. You can see this Fender bib on here. Some of you may know this as a Fender chap. These things are going to be useful really for two classes of folks. First, those of you who bounce between a solo and a two-up seat. As you bounce between those seats, that two-up seat can sort of take a toll on the paint, and it'll wind up leaving it looking a little haggard when you go to throw your solo seat on there. So what this thing can do is protect that fender. It's going to give you a spot to throw your gear when you're heading down on a long run, but there's only one person on the bike. The other thing these things can do is also cover up paint that's already been damaged. So if you found out the hard way that your two-up seat is taking a toll on your fender, this should hide most of the problem here. Marine grade vinyl, you can see this particular version I'm holding is chrome studded for extra fanciness. You can flip over here, you see there's a very soft liner on here, again, to protect your existing paint so you don't either increase your damage or start any heading off of the pass. You may also notice too, this thing has a little bit of a curvature to it. It's kind of nice. They've taken flat pieces of leather but sewn them with a built-in curve. It's going to ride the fender itself. It's going to hug that thing and lay down nicely. You're not going to get wind kicking this up or it's going to look all funky. Mustang really did put a little bit of thought into this. Kind of nice too because this isn't a super expensive item. So now moving on to the style portion of things, you'll see we have a tank bib, also studded, also available in black. So those of you who aren't super familiar with tank bibs, I'll give you a fast history lesson. These were originally used by riders who were riding bikes that had fat bob tanks. Typically those tanks are actually split. There's two separate tanks, one on either side of the motorcycle. Now early Harleys used a dash over there to cover that up to make it look pretty, but as guys were hacking and chopping and cutting stuff up, sometimes those dashes would wind up getting tossed in an effort to go a little bit quicker. Then you had this ugly spine of the bike exposed between the two tanks. Looked pretty terrible. Guys would wind up making something out of leather, something to throw over that gap to clean up the look a little bit. And what you're looking at here is the vestigial organ. Most of you, obviously on a Bolt, are probably not going to be rocking a set of fat bobs on there. However, you can get that traditional look with this particular bib. Again, same setup sort of applies here. This is marine grade vinyl on here. Flip over, you can see this nice soft liner in here. It's going to keep your paint looking good if you decide you don't want to run this thing at some point. Now installation on this stuff, as I had said, is easy. It's one beard or BSD or beard scale of difficulty. Most of you should be able to knock this out with basic hand tools and a modicum of common sense. Again, it is handy to have a manual floating around now and then too. To install your Fender bib, you are going to wind up needing to remove your seat. So the seat does have to come off at least slightly so you can get this thing installed correctly. That's not really all that difficult. Again, you're going to need a couple of sockets, a ratchet, basic hand tools will see you through the job. And then moving over to the tank bib, again, you're going to need to undo a couple bolts and you will need to wind up tying this thing at the rear. I would recommend if you are looking at these and you think you're going to wind up with both of them, do them both at the same time. Having the seat off will help you because both pieces meet in the middle underneath the seat. Other than that though, as I said, installation's a breeze. Most of you guys should be able to get it done. I think these things are pretty cool, especially the Fender bib. This is definitely something that has its market for sure. There's an actual reason to have this puppy. It's not bad to have on your motorcycle. Again, my opinion is not the only one that matters though. Click below, check out what some other riders who are already rocking this thing have to say about it. If you got questions about something that I didn't answer, leave me a comment below in the comment section, or you can get in touch with one of our gear geeks. 877-792-9455 will get you geeked by phone. You can always email us, cs@revzilla.com. I'm Lemmy, and I'm out of here.